Hey everyone, welcome to part 6 of our series on building a VueJS app. Here's what we're going to be doing today. First, we're going to be creating an admin page. That's because, we're going to be wanting an edit and delete button, and there's not really a good place to put them right now. So we're going to create our admin page, and to do that, we'll learn Vue Filters and a little bit about CSS Grid. Then, we're going to put on a delete button. And to do that, we're going to learn a new VueX pattern and use the confirm modal. And finally, we're going to create our edit page, which will introduce another VueX pattern. And that's the plan for today. Let's get started. All right, so we've got our videos, and we have a way to add videos. But sometimes when we add videos, we mess up. We put in new video 1 twice. We forget to add a thumbnail or a description or a video. And so we need a way to either edit it so that it is fixed, or just delete it if we made a complete mistake. So the question is, how should we do this? Now we could just stick a big edit and delete button down here, but that would not be a great user experience. And it would be more difficult to find it if I want to go edit or delete a whole bunch at one time. Scrolling through all this. Once we get a lot of videos, that's going to be difficult. So what we want to do is we want to add an admin page. So I want to be admins/videos. So let's go ahead and create that route. Then we'll create that component. And we'll put a simple header there so we can see that this is the correct place when we visit it. We'll go to the browser and visit that page, and awesome, it's showing up. Now, before we get started on the table where we list all of our videos, let's go ahead and do some quick quality of life stuff. So first, we'll replace this outer div with a v container, and that will give us some nice spacing. Then here we will take our add video and put it here at the top of the admin video list page, and then replace that with a link to admin videos. So now we need to change the text as well. Awesome, so we can go to add video from here, and then from anywhere we can get to the admin page. Now we want to access our videos and display them in a simple list. So we could have a div where we use a v-for, and then we can display the name of each video. Now we need access to our list of videos, and currently our list of videos is going to be on the store's state. So let's get that through map state. Then we can look and see that they're displaying correctly. Now, in addition to the name, let's go ahead and display a little bit more information. How about the description? And then we'll want to display some buttons or some links to the show page or the watch page, to the edit page, and then the delete button. Only one of those will work at the start, but we'll be fixing that through the rest of the video. Let's start by displaying all the information that we're going to want to display. So we'll start with the name, and then we'll have the description, and then we'll have a div with 3 different links. There will be show, edit, and delete, and we'll fix those up soon. All right, so it's kind of a mess right now. We want these 3 all lined up, and we can't just use span, because then that description would go way overboard. We want to use something like a table. In this case, we're going to be using CSS Grid. let's go ahead and put the class flexTable on our div, on each of those divs, and then we'll define some styles for flexTable. So we'll want the display to be grid, and then we'll define something called grid template columns, and let's do repeat autofill 33%. So what this will do is it'll take everything under the flexTable and make it 33%. So this is already looking better. But it could be looking a lot better than this. So let's get to work on that. So first, let's make a header. So we will have a div, and we'll add the class flexTable to it as well. And then under each of them, we'll have a header. So it's just telling what these are. All right, so that's good. We have a table header. Now let's go ahead and make this description look a little bit better. So on our description, I'm going to make a method called abbreviate. And there are two ways to do this. So you could call abbreviate like this, and then it would go in the methods hash. Or you could call it like this. So this is a filter. Now, filters are a little bit controversial, and there are a couple reasons. So first, it's yet another hash that goes on your component. So if we did it like this, then we would be in the methods hash, and we already have a methods hash. Whereas this, we have a whole new hash for it. They're also controversial because this pipe is currently a proprietary Vue piece of syntax that is not in normal JavaScript. And so it's something new to learn when you're learning Vue. But even more controversial, JavaScript is adding a pipe, and it works differently than this pipe. So I don't know what the solution to that is. Maybe copy Elixir's pipe syntax. But regardless of those problems, the reason I like it is because it gives you the content first here, instead of if you have, 5 of these, then your content's way out over here, wrapped in all these modifiers. And second, filters are completely functional, so there's going to be no side effects. So take all that into account when deciding whether to use filters in your own app. But for now, we're going to be using it here. So we're going to make abbreviation, and it's going to take a text, and we will return. So first we'll make sure the text is there, and then we're going to call slice on it and just get the first 50 characters. All right, so this is great. We have it much shorter, but it's still long enough that you can sort of tell what's going on if the name is not descriptive enough for you. But we have that annoying p tag at the beginning, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. So we will first wrap it with text. Make sure the text is there, because at the beginning when it's loading, it might not be. And then we're going to replace text with text.replace, and we're going to replace that p tag with an empty string. Much better. Now, this is going great, but let's say we had these buttons over here, and currently they are really far away from our name, and it might be difficult for us to tell which one we're clicking. Like here, I click this edit button. You have to trace it back slowly, so I think it's creating new promises. So let's provide a little bit more separation and spacing. First, we'll do padding, and we'll do 10 pixels all around. It's looking a little better. And then to really separate them, we'll have a border bottom, and that will be 1 pixel black solid. All right, this is looking good, but there's one more thing we can do to make the positioning really clear. So let's, for nth of type, and correct this typo, and we will want it to be every other one. All right, and for that, we will have a background color of sort of grayish off-white. And now we have zebra striping. So we are just about ready to start adding our new functionality with edit and delete. But first, there's two things I want to do. So these are currently really close together. And if we accidentally hit delete when we mean to hit edit, that's not a good thing. So let's space these out a little bit. So we will first set all of these in their own spans. And then we'll wrap this with a class of actions. And then down here, we will style it. And we'll make it so anything under actions will have padding right of 10 pixels. Let's make it 15. All right, those are now nice and separated. A lot less chance of us accidentally clicking the wrong thing. Then the final thing will be making the show link work. So let's go ahead and replace this with a router link. And we will make it 2, and we'll be going to video watch. And our params will just be an ID of the video. And make sure we close out the right tab. And there we go. The next feature we're going to be doing is adding a delete button to our page. And to do that, we're going to have to learn a new VueX pattern and the confirm modal dialog box. The good news is that VueX pattern, it's going to make a lot of sense if you already know JavaScript or working with arrays and what we've learned so far about VueX. So let's get started. We'll start by turning this span into a V button so it's a little bit more visually set apart. And then we'll add a click event. And this will be calling out to a method called delete video. And that, because there are multiple videos in this v4, it's going to have to take the video as an argument. And then we'll go ahead and just feed in the video as an argument there. Then here we will call out to our store and dispatch an action. We'll call it delete video and give it the video. In our store, in our actions hash, we'll want to have a delete video action. And then we're going to be wanting to do at least two things. So the first is call out to our API and delete our video on the server. And then we're going to want to delete our video in the state. Let's actually go ahead and do deleting the video on state first. So we will commit the delete video mutation, and then we'll feed it that video. Actually, let's feed it that video's ID, since really that's all we'll need to know in order to do it. So we'll define delete video and take in our state and our video, and here we're going to be learning our new pattern. The question is, so we've got all the videos in our state, and we're going to want to be deleting one of them, but as far as I know, there's no removal equivalent of concat. So we need to figure out how to get rid of one of the videos in the state. Let's go ahead and investigate our state in our Vue DevTools. So here our state, we've got 12 videos, and the key is just an array. So it's an array. This is not an actual key. And you'll see that the key does not match up with the ID. For a while, it's one less, but you get here and there's really no relation. So we can't match by key. But what we can do is reach into each of those objects and match the ID. So we're going to let our new videos list be state.videos, and then we're going to run filter, and we're going to check and make sure that the ID is not equal to the video ID that's passed in. And right now we're using the single equals rather than the double equals because we don't want to have to know whether it's a string or an integer. All right, and then we just set state.videos equal to videos. And let's see if this works. So we go here and we hit delete. And it looks like it's working. It is now gone from our list. Of course, we reload and they're back. And also, let's make this delete button smaller while we're there. This is way too big of a delete button. All right, much better. Now, back to our store. So our delete video mutation works. Awesome. Now we need to delete the video on the server. So I already made this async, so what we'll do is we'll await. We'll create our API call, and then we'll call delete to videos/videos actually, and then we'll feed in the video.id. And I already have the server set up, so it'll respond to this. And we'll get our response. And here, we'll go ahead and put up the debugger. So we'll hit delete here, and hit the debugger, and we don't actually need the data this time. What we need is to make sure that the status is okay. So we can match it response.status, and it can be either a 200 or a 204. And so let's go ahead and check for that. So if the response.status is equal to 200, or the response.status is equal to 204, then we'll go ahead and commit that mutation. And it's a good idea to throw an error if it is not the correct status, but that is not within the scope of this video. All right, so let's give that a try. We hit delete, it's gone, and we reload, and it is still gone. Awesome. But this still isn't quite the behavior we want. So we're moving along here, we accidentally hit delete, and then one of our videos, which took hours to create, gone in an instant. So we want to confirm that they want this deleted. Now, if this was client-facing, then we'd want some nice fancy modal, and later on in this series, I'll show how to create a nice fancy modal, but for now we're going to do something quick and dirty. So we will go in here to our admin video list component, and then on our delete video method, we will just use confirm. And this takes one message, and we'll say, are you sure you want to delete? And then the name of the video. And if the response is true, then we call dispatch. So let's test that out. We will hit delete. Are you sure you want to delete new video too? No, I don't want that. So response was false. And then you hit delete and hit OK, and now it's gone. The final feature we're going to be adding to our admin page, for now, is an edit screen. And to do this, we're going to take a lot of what we learned in making our create screen, and we're going to be applying a new VueX pattern. And this VueX pattern isn't quite as self-explanatory as the last one, but it still makes sense once you think about it. So let's get going. We'll start by adding an edit page in the routes. Inside our component, we'll want access to the video. We'll grab it using the same method we used in the video watch component. We'll test it out by displaying the video.name. Then in our admin video list, we'll go ahead and change this into a component. And then we'll go ahead and click and see if it works. So go to Promise Basics, and it is showing up. Awesome. Now let's go ahead and turn this into a full-on editing screen. We'll start by, as usual, making this a vContainer, so we have good spacing. And then we'll go ahead and copy-paste these 4 text fields and text areas from Video Create. At some point, when it gets more complex, we'll want to make a reusable component with this. But for now, let's just do this. And let's see what's going on now. And hey, this is not bad. We've already got all our fields here working. And that's because the video in Video Create was something that we just had an empty hash there, but here we're getting it from the state. Now we'll focus on what's different, which is what happens after we hit the button at the end. So we will paste in that button, and instead of create video, we'll say save video. And we'll need a save video method. Now there's only one video, so we can go ahead and we don't need to pass anything in. And we will be calling to the store, and we will be dispatching a save video action, or we'll call it edit video. And we'll be passing it the new state of the video. Let's go to our store and create this action. So once again, we'll want to call out to the API and then do a commit. So we'll follow the same pattern. Instead of calling delete, we'll call put, and we'll once again call out to videos/video ID, but it's a different HTTP method, so it'll be doing something different. And as an argument, I will put in our video. So then we will go ahead and get a new video from our response. And this new video, in this case, will be the same thing as the video that we're passing in. But there could be cases where the server does some processing. And so we'll go ahead and grab it from the response just in case. Then we will commit a mutation, and we'll call that mutation edit video, and we'll pass in our new video. And so let's make that mutation here. So once again, like last time, we have an array of videos, and now instead of deleting one of them, we want to replace one of them. So we're going to loop through, and then if v.id is equal to video.id, then we're going to, and this part is a little bit weird to me, we're just going to assign video to v, and then that will replace it in the state. I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but it does work. So we're going to be going through the videos, and when we get our match, we assign our new video to that video. All right, and here, after our commit, let's go ahead and return the new video so that we can have it if we want to do anything after the edit video action. And we do want to do something. Let's go ahead and navigate to the server. So let's make this async, and we want to get our new video. I don't know if we actually have to do let new video. We'll test it out in a second, just doing that. And we're going to get our router, and we're going to call push. And since we are going to the admin video list, all we need is a name. So let's give all of this a try. We're on our edit page, and let's add some exclamation points to our title. We'll hit save video, and they're all showing up there, and we'll go ahead and reload, and they're still working. Now let's test that thing we saw earlier. So let's see if we can just use await, since we don't need that new video. So we'll reload our page and add more exclamation points after basics. And it looks like it still works. And that's it for our first foray into making an admin page. Let's go ahead and review what we learned. We started by making our admin video list. We set a class of flex table on each row, and we used CSS grid in order to make it display well. So we have our display of grid, our grid template columns, and then all this stuff was just some styling to make it look a little bit better. Next, we learned about filters. We created the abbreviate filter, which takes a piece of text, it replaces any paragraph tags, and then it returns the first 50 characters. And we use it like this. You have our text, and then the pipe operator, and then the filter. Next, we made a delete button. So here, when we click this button, it calls the delete video method. And notice we're feeding in an argument. And then we use the confirm modal, which if it returns true, then we can dispatch delete video. Otherwise, it just doesn't do anything. And so then in our delete video in the store, we also learned how to remove something from the store. And how we do that is basically we call .filter, and we return everything that is not that video. Now, I don't know if this is the most performant thing. And so as our app grows, I'll be looking into other ways of doing this, but this works for now. And then in our edit video, we also used a new pattern in VueX. And here we're looping through each of these and just straight up replacing the old one with the new attributes. And then, of course, we reviewed and used a lot of the concepts that we used in previous videos. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe below the video, and I'll see you next time where we're going to be talking about validations.